Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this is not David and half a lemon head. Hey, how you guys doing? I wanted to jump on really quick. Um, Dave and I are going to do a reading either tonight or tomorrow on the No Kings protest. So I'm going to dodge out on that one currently. Um, I read an article that Iran doesn't want to deal with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff anymore. They're like, these two jokers. We don't want to have any more quote unquote negotiations with these guys because they're just there to get us attacked. It seems like every time we sit down with these two morons, you guys are launching missiles at us. So we want JD Vance to talk to instead. And I'm kind of wondering how that's going to play with Trump. Um, JD Vance is kind of been the one voice in the Trump administration that's like, oh, I don't know if attacking Iran's such a good idea. And, Trump and Hegseth and everyone else just basically tell him to go sit in the corner and ignore him. And now Iran is like, they're throwing insults at Trump all day long. And now they want to talk to Vance. Um, so I'm kind of wondering how that's going to play in Trump's mind. So entertainment purposes only. Let's take a quick look at that. JD Vance, will he get his chance? How is Iran? Does Iran truly want to negotiate, or is this just another attack on Trump? Page of Swords. Give us the young guy that's got some different ideas, that has a different intelligence on things. That we want to walk away. He seems to be disengaging from the MAGA crazy that Trump is putting out there. Okay, Page of Cups, that's more of the MAGA crazy. And then you got the Six of Swords, trying to navigate to calmer shores from the rough shores, from the rough waters. And underneath you got the Devil. So what I'm getting from this is they see JD Vance as someone who has different ideas, different ways of doing things. He's kind of disengaged from the crazy. Trump's level of crazy is causing this situation, and Iran would like to cease the hostilities. And they don't, they see Witkoff and Kushner as tied to Trump. They don't see JD Vance. They see him sort of walking away and distancing himself. So I don't think it's trolling. I think it's actual, this is what they want. I kind of, Gary the analyst was kind of already there, but hey, you never know. It just, I'm sure it doesn't hurt that they would rather deal with JD Vance than anyone that's related or close to Trump or is beholden to Trump, even though, frankly, JD is kind of there too. But how is Trump going to take that? Do a little 4-card. Technically 5, right? How is Trump feeling about JD Vance replacing Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff as the negotiating team? This is going to be a very magical card. I have a hunch. This is kind of the let's take a moment to think about what we want to do going forward. How is Trump going to feel about it? The main clarifier is the Seven of Cups. This is about don't believe everything you see. What's in front of you might not be exactly what you're expecting. So I don't think he knows what to think of this. I think as far as Trump is concerned, this is just crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. They need to think about this because they're not seeing this correctly. I'm the king. You deal with who I tell you to deal with. Otherwise, you're going to get a bunch of missiles up your poop. And I'm going to take stuff away from you when you're not looking. I don't think Trump's really happy about this. This is not what Trump wants. He wants Kushner and Witkoff in there. He doesn't want JD Vance in there. I think what he may be afraid of is um, that Seven of Swords is Iran getting away with stuff, being able to negotiate, manipulate JD Vance, and steal stuff away that Trump feels belongs to him. All right. Um, there's a bunch of airborne rangers and Marines heading to the Gulf. Um, Trump has also threatened that he doesn't bluff, although I wonder where the name Taco came from then. Um, in this case, I don't think Trump is going to bluff. Like I said, Dave and I's previous video, well, or the one we released that came out on Wednesday, Trump, he likes to play an army general. You know, you play with his toy soldiers and tanks and missiles. As long as Barron's not involved, what does he care, right? Jesse Ventura had this interview with Piers Morgan, and he's basically like, "Hey, why isn't Barron Trump volunteering to fight? You know, if the president thinks that this is such a just war and a holy cause, Barron should be right up there volunteering and getting in there and mixing it up." And you know, it's hard to argue that, right? You know, oh yeah, that's a great war. You know, America's brave soldiers, but not my son. No, no. You know, Jesse Ventura, you know, he was a SEAL. He was a Navy SEAL, man, and he doesn't have a lot of respect for Bones. You know, President Bone Spurs there. So, anywho, let's take a look. Trump says he's not bluffing. How does the conflict in Iran look over the weekend? Because I suspect Iran's been... Sorry, come back up again. Sorry, flipping this around. Iran keeps saying that Trump's only saying these things to manipulate the markets. And I think Iran's got a finger on it there. I would agree. Trump is saying this because he wants to get oil prices down and keep the stock market from getting too jittery. Oh yeah, we're really close to peace negotiations. They gave me a wonderful present. That's another question I want to ask is, what is this present, this alleged present that was presented to him? Who's he talking to? But I looked at the stock market this morning, and it looks like the market is starting to have its doubts about how close the United States and Iran truly are with negotiations. On the first couple days of the week, the stock market was up. And then yesterday and today is kind of like, I don't know how optimistic we are. And I'm seeing the market, it started okay, and it seems like it's tapering off, and maybe it's going to dip into the red again. So I think the market is starting to figure out that they've been had. There's also been some very interesting oil futures trading going on where they're starting to open an investigation on insider trading because like there was someone who placed this huge, I don't know if it was a buy or sell order on oil right 5 minutes before Trump makes the announcement that they got this great peace deal, that they're this close, right? And oil prices plummeted and someone made a shit ton of money on that. So they probably have what's known as put options, where they're selling oil at current prices and buying it in the future at a different price. And if the price goes down, it's like selling short, right? If the price goes down, you sell it at $150 a barrel, you buy it at $100 a barrel, you've made $50 a barrel. And someone placed a big multi-million-dollar order on one of these options right 5 minutes before Trump makes this announcement. So they're investigating that, as they should. But let's take a look at what's going on in Iran over the weekend. Because the other thing that someone pointed out in the comments is, you know, whenever there's a no kings protest, Trump does something dramatic or drastic to try and get it out of the spotlight. And that could be something that happens. So what's it look like in Iran over the weekend? Justice card is the primary. Um, Page of Swords again. Okay, so uh, you got the Justice. The Page of Swords is about, once again, it's about, either bring on the fight, or it could be, new different ways of ideas, different things to think about. Ace of Cups, Nine of Wands, and then the Star card underneath. Okay, so how's it looking for Iran? Boy, oh boy, I don't know what to make of this. Strong emotions. It's almost like it's looking at the protest. This feels more like a protest reading, that um, the foundation is justice, where people are demanding justice. That basically things are done correctly, things are done the right way, and they're fired up and energized because they've got strong emotions about this feeling, and they want these actions to end because it's for the best of democracy. This isn't about what's going on in Iran. This is about the protests in the U.S. I was trying to avoid reading on that because Dave and I are going to read them on this shortly. But um, the No Kings protests, I suspect, are going to, well, you don't need to throw cards on this. It's going to be bigger than any of the previous ones. Um, there was an article that was written that said basically if you've got a sustained protest movement where it involves 3.5% of the population, it will change the political dynamic in that country. 3.5%, we got what, 350 million people in the United States. So 3.5%, you're talking 10, 11, 12 million people roughly protesting. I think we're definitely going to hit that this time around. But it's not just a one-time, yay, we got 12, 15 million people out there protesting, we win. No, it has to be sustained. I mean, it's got to be one of those, every time there's a protest, there's 10, 12, 15 million people showing up. I think we're there. And that's kind of what those cards seem to indicate, that what's going on over the weekend is the protests are going to make they're going to make the headlines. They're going to suck the air out of the room for Trump. How does Trump feel about this weekend? After this weekend is done, how is Trump feeling? Entertainment purposes only. Two of Wands. What actions do I want to take regarding the future? The Hangman, not liking the position. He's in a bad position and he needs to figure out what actions he's going to take. He wants to declare victory, whether it's a false victory, because he wants to appease his MAGA base. And he wants to basically, he's looking at kind of his financial future, or the future of his presidency. Basically, this weekend's pivotal. What I think Trump's out of time is what I'm getting from this. This weekend's going to be pivotal. There's going to be a lot of peaceful civil unrest at home. My gut feeling is he's going to try and do something in Iran over the weekend, but the cards don't want to talk to me about that yet. He wants to declare a victory to keep his MAGA base energized and happy, but it's kind of like you're reaping what you're sowing. I just my gut feeling here is that this is a critical weekend for him. If he cannot control the Strait of Hormuz, this war is over for him. He's lost it, and he becomes lame duck. There's nothing he can do to save his presidency at this point. That from this point forward, he's a lame duck, and his power and influence are done. He can no longer exert the power and influence that he's exerted, and his power has ended and is successfully shifted. Especially if JD goes in there and starts mopping up, cleaning up the mess, and is even halfway successful at doing it. It's egg on Trump's face, and there will be calls to uh, remove him. Especially if he tries to put boots on the ground and that goes Bay of Pigs direction. That's even worse, right? And maybe that's why the Cards don't want to go there with me. Um, so we'll see what happens. Right now, I think Iran does want to talk to JD Vance. I don't think Trump's happy about that. I think that the protests this weekend are going to make a big difference. And this is Trump's make or break weekend. That's just my gut feeling on this. I could be wrong. So, anyways, thank you all for tuning in. I truly appreciate you. I want to give a shout out and a big thank you to Kentucky Belle. Hi, Michelle. I hope you and Dan are doing well. I got your package today. Thank you so much. You actually resolved a problem that Laura and I were having as far as what we were going to do about Easter. So you have made my life easier, and I truly appreciate you for that. Oh, and I should draw a card for. I'll draw a card for Kentucky Belle and a card for the rest of us, and then we'll sign off here. So Michelle, aw, lover's card. Dave and I love you. Not David and Lemonhead love you too. And then for the rest of us, we got the world. Hey, I think we may be coming to the end of this finally. It's not the dramatic and sudden end maybe that we were kind of hoping for, but it's the time when we start transitioning. And I truly think we are on the cusp of it. You know, of course, I'm a bit more optimistic than most. I've had my optimism crushed enough times where I should be a little more careful with it. But here we are. I am who I am. So I hope you're all having a great day, and we'll catch you soon. Take care, folks. Bye.